I gotta turn this camera around. Okay, guys, it is snowing right here. Oh my goodness, check this out. Hold on. Flip you guys around here. Look at the snow. It's even accumulated. Wow. I was just driving from the house here. I don't know, half hour away from home. Came into this dark system here. It was sunny before, like I just got into it. And it is snowing here. That's great. I hope it doesn't keep up like this because it's gonna make my a little bit longer. Wow, just out of nowhere, and it's windy today. I don't think the camera's doing this too much of justice, but what's going on, guys? It is Zach here. We're heading up north. Happens to be a little bit of a snowy day out, apparently. So, pretty cool way to start the video. I was just listening to the Beatles and enjoying it, and then as soon as I seen the snow coming, it was like a white cloud, a white wall, you know. And yeah, I'll turn on the live stream for you guys. I texted my dad. Should be up there around between 11 and noon. Like more so noon. Texted him and he said it's pretty brutal up there, so I looked up the weather app, and the weather app says it feels like it's 5 degrees up there. And he said that the wind blew so hard this morning. I think he said at like 6:30. He said it actually scared him. So gosh, that wind is blowing so hard. I hope that this is just a tiny little system here, because I don't want to be driving up the interstate or whatever in this weather. Alright, so I'm going to put you guys back in the holder. I'll flip you around. I just wanted you to, well, we can keep you guys up here for a little longer. So, thought I would just do a live stream like I promised you guys. We got lots of people saying good morning. Good morning to you all. Pine City is good. That's good. Got a little bit of sleep last night. I think I probably was able to fall asleep around 2 o'clock in the morning. 7. So we are cruising. Look at this road. It's just, I can't believe that it's actually sticking this good. The truck weather temperature says it's 28 degrees. It hasn't even been cold very long for it to be sticking to the road like this. Kind of fitting though, going up north and it being kind of snowy out. I can say that this is my first official snowy road I've been on. Have I been through Mora? No, Mora's coming up here, so I just thought this is pretty neat. It's blowing very hard though. Was before at least, so we're taking it easy. Alright, I will flip you guys around. I have to actually 180 this camera here, so it might get a little goofy for just a moment. There we go. Flip you guys back in. And set you in your holder so I can use 2 hands. Anyways, so we are cruising up north. I got the truck full of stuff. Pretty full. Dad asked if I could bring up a bunch of water for the winter, so I got 3 35 packs of water. That should last us through deer hunting. And of course I got the stand and everything else. Tinger, whatever your username is. No, Sam's at home. She'll be hanging out with her mom today. Her mom and her brothers they're coming up to visit her, and I can see the light, guys. We're almost through it. You can see it in the back by the rear window. You can see it's kind of white. What a crazy little blimp of a snowstorm thing here. You can see it getting lighter now. So 27. I'm gonna watch that temperature go down. It's kind of one of the fun things to do, I guess. Watch that temperature go down as you drive. There, we're getting through it. Still is a lot of, it's still sticking to the road here, so I'm going to take it easy because I don't need to lose control, I suppose. But gosh, how weird was that? That was like 6 minutes. I turned it on essentially right when I went into it. So 6 minutes of snow in the middle of, it's just like a weird line of a snowstorm, perhaps. So weird. Yeah, but Sam's gonna be at home today and be up north. It's gonna be pretty good time up there. If it's 5 degrees, it'll probably warm up to, geez, I don't even know. It'll probably warm up to 20 degrees or something like that. So it'll be it's gonna be brutal putting those stands up, especially if it's windy, because that just makes it all, just adds to it, you know. So anyways, yeah, I got the water in the truck. I brought the shotgun just in case we're out there and putting up a stand or something. I'm gonna bring it with. What else? Brought my fishing poles. I don't think I'll get to fishing. I think I'll be way too busy, but you never know. What else? Of course, the stand and my salt block. I also have a bag of corn. I think it's a 50-pound bag of corn. And I was going to put it out by the stand, but legally you can only have some a protein source, if you will. That's how they would put it. So like corn or like a protein block, you can only put it out up to 10 days before hunting season. So for us, today is 14 days, because it's 2 full weeks until the hunting season begins, and so I can't really put out that bag because I won't be there to monitor it to know if it's there or not. So what I'm gonna have to do, I might just take a tiny amount, like a few handfuls, and throw it around. I still have my game camera. I still have that salt block, but I'm gonna take a few handfuls, throw it around, and then the rest of it can stay up there. And maybe I asked my dad maybe if he wanted to put some in the driveway where the camera is. That way maybe some wildlife will come by. That'd be kind of fun. Somebody asked how long it takes me to get to the tent. 4 hours. Four-ish hours without stops. Could be more, could be less. It all depends on how many stops a person makes, and if you're cruising at the speed limit or not. I'm kind of just cruising at the speed limit, so yeah. It's pretty nice though. I mean, this road here is kind of a pain because if you get stuck behind somebody or whatever, it can get a little long-winded, but once you get onto the interstate, it's pretty quick. Tinger says that moose was awesome that you got on the trail camera. That was really cool, and I'm really surprised every time I go back to that video. I look at the thumbnail of the picture and it's like, wow, I can't believe how nice of a picture that trail camera took. I mean, it's really clear, that's for sure. I would love to see a moose or a bear, you know, obviously not really coming up for an attack or anything, but I would like to see one driving down the road or something where I could just pull off and look at it for a minute. I think that would be really cool. I really want to see a moose, because bears are cool, but moose are so big. I'd love to see a bull moose with a huge set of antlers. That would be really cool. Many years ago, I was out walking around with my grandpa up north there, and we got back in some kind of thick brush, and all this thick brush was broken off, like way above my head, probably 6 to 8 feet above the ground. And my grandpa said that there's moose back in that area, and it was, kind of marking its territory. So then he had me sit under this pine tree, because there was a loop that went out and around, because it was kind of like what used to be a clearing. Now it had grown up a little bit, and that was like an old trail or something back there. And so he went and he walked that loop around, but nothing ever came out. He was hoping that if I sat there, a moose would come out and he would kind of scare it out one way or the other, and I would see it. But I know that obviously we got that picture of the moose on that camera, but I also know that I think my grandpa has seen him up there before. And my grandpa has that mounted moose shoulder mount. Shoulder mount? No, I think it's just a head mount. But I don't know where he got that. I don't know if he got that up there or if he went on a guided hunt or where. There's snow all over out here. It's all over in the grass and on the roofs of the buildings and stuff. It's pretty cool. Of course, I wasn't Yanni or tired until I started making this video, and then I'm talking. So I've never tried moose meat, and I've never tried bear meat. Trying to think of what kind of wild game I have had. Obviously venison and duck, and I'm sure I've had grouse. And then the Cabela's in Rogers has, well, they used to have wild game, and I've had some of the stuff there. They used to have different sandwiches. I know they had like wild boar. I've had wild boar. That was pretty good. Trying to think of any other ones they had. They might have had like elk or something, but I know I had the wild boar because that was actually my favorite sandwich that they would have. Wasa says we haven't been able to hunt moose in Minnesota for a good decade. And then Robert said you have to draw for moose here in Canada. Yeah, hopefully they don't go extinct. I sure hope not. You'd have to go to maybe Alaska. Oh, that reminds me. If you guys haven't checked out the username on YouTube, Living North. If you guys know George, if you watch Jones Act Survival, or if you tune in for like our deer hunting video, I'm sure he'll stop by, because he stopped by the last couple of years. I went and kind of binge watched his channel, and one of his videos, it's a little longer, it's 45 minutes, or maybe it's a little over an hour, but he goes on a trip to visit his son in Alaska. And it's like a long trip. I think he said it's over 3,000 miles for him to drive from Minnesota to Alaska. He goes, it's a really long trip. I think he even goes through Canada. And yeah, he does make those beautiful knives. But once he gets into Alaska, he sees a whole bunch of, what was it? I think he's seen buffalo, he's seen moose. I think he even did he see some bears? Regardless though, he sees a bunch of moose, and he's actually stopped and like filmed them. These two, at one point kind of in the video, there's a bull moose, and it's in this like pond of water. Super cool. So if you guys haven't checked out his channel, I binge watched it, and I keep going back. They haven't posted for a couple months, but I really do get a kick out of watching his channel. Him and his son. Being that we know him, it kind of makes it better too. Not all provinces, Manitoba and Ontario, are open for moose. Also Yukon territory. Yeah. I bet a person gets a lot. I know when my grandpa would talk about his different hunts and his moose hunt, I remember him saying that they quarter it and then they put it in their pack and they walk with it. I can't imagine. You probably have to be carrying a few 100 pounds of meat or something. There's like a flock of seagulls above me right now. Like a flock, hundreds of them. I don't think I've ever seen that before. They're all over around here. I don't know what the heck's going on. And do you watch Wild North? I have watched that channel a little bit. Oh wow. Is that more seagulls? Sorry guys. This field here, you guys won't be able to see it. There are so many seagulls that just got up in that field. Living North, Wild North, I've tuned into their channel before. I'm not gonna say that I watch it a lot. It's hard. Some of those channels are hard for me, depending on the size of the channel. Like, I used to watch, I think it's My Self-Reliance, I think is what his username goes by, My Self-Reliance. And when he started out, he was pretty small and he was just building this log cabin. And he's been really good about keeping it pretty much the same for now. But when these channels blow up, it kind of loses my interest, because there's something about the small channel that I really get a kick out of, because I think it's more genuine. Like, I used to watch, the sun's giving me a hard time here. It looks like I got a weird face. I used to watch Wrangler Star, and he used to do like a lot of, maybe you'd call it bushcraft videos, or he used to do a lot of woodworking stuff, and I liked watching that. And he used to do a lot of like how to cut trees in the woods and stuff like that, and I really liked that because it kind of taught me some stuff that I didn't know and stuff to think about. And like, he did this good series on, you know, your trees should be like 30 feet apart, like thinning out your forest, if you will. And now his channel's so big, they have over 1 million subscribers, and I used to watch him when he had less than 100,000 subscribers. And now he's completely kind of reformatted his channel from the roots of it, and he does like Amazon, like glorified Amazon reviews, you know, the cheapest versus the most expensive. One of his big ones were cordless drills, the cheapest versus the more expensive, and that kind of ruined it for me, because he's a really knowledgeable person, and I really liked his content, but didn't kind of stay on that path. So now he's a bigger YouTuber, if you will, and he lost his roots. So that's kind of, ultimately it is what it is, but it just kind of is a bummer. Tinger, I'm probably butchering your, but he asked, they asked, do you ever ice fish at the tent? We tried ice fishing at the tent many years ago. That lake it really doesn't get too deep. I think it maybe gets like 10 or 12 feet deep at most. And it gets really slushy because there's underground, what do they call them? Underground, I can't think of it right now. Underground springs that feed that lake, and so it creates a lot of slush underneath there. That's why it's kind of nerve-wracking whenever my dad or grandpa walk across there, because that's the reason why they never take like a wheeler out on the lake. For one, there's a lot of snow, but then two, it can get very, very slushy on top because of the fact that there is those underground springs that feed it. And if you got stuck with your wheeler in the middle of the lake, there's no one up there that's going to help you, and your winch line's not really going to make it anywhere because you're in the middle of the lake. So that is and there could be soft spots in that lake too. So that's why you never see us, or you never see my dad like try to drive across if it's a little snowy or something, because you just might not make it. And because of that, when you go to drill a hole, it's nothing but slush. We've tried it, and it was super slushy, and you really can't get to the good clear water because of it. Curtis asked if Sam was going up for the opener for deer season. We've talked about it, and she doesn't really want to go this year, so she's gonna stay at home. It can get a little crowded in the tent for deer hunting if everybody comes up. Like last year, it was Emily, Sarah, Sam, my dad, and I, and it can definitely get a little crowded up there, that's for sure. But I think that maybe if we invested in a camper, she would come up there a little more, because then, like last year, it was nice. Even though the camper was kind of cold, we had like our own space, if you will, and that's nice too, because then you have, like, you know, a little spot you can get away, and everybody's not really crammed in there, if you will. It's not bad by any means, but it does get tight in there if everybody is up. So, has Emily ever hunted? Yeah, she used to hunt. I don't think she was ever the biggest fan of deer hunting, because she would always get really, really cold, and then she, I think, would end up, so she would stay out there, but a lot of times she'd come back in early because she was pretty cold. It's brutal being in the stands, guys. I've came in early many times because it gets so cold. That wind whips and it just gets right through all your clothes. So it gets very cold. I think last year was one of the coldest years. I've went up third weekend before, and that is really cold. It's crazy. You wouldn't think that the difference between first weekend and third weekend, where temperature-wise was, what's going on, Chad? You wouldn't think that it was that bad, but it gets cold. Dad's listening to polka? Polka? That's pretty good. It's, well, it's Saturday. And that's another thing, too, with Sam, is, being that she doesn't come out to the stand when we are up there, it can get extremely boring for her, because you're up there 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and you know, sitting in the stand is boring, but imagine going up there and just like sitting at the tent the whole time. And we go to bed early, and then we get up early, so she just kind of sits there the whole time. I mean, there's only so many movies, so many word finds, so much cruising on your phone, on Facebook or Pinterest or whatever she looks at, that a person can do, because you just get really bored after a while. So I think if I don't know, I think that maybe with time, you know, if we get our own camper, maybe she can bring enough stuff to really keep her busy. But she like this year, she's kind of planning to do some Christmas shopping with her mom over that weekend. And for her, that's a lot more exciting, I'm sure, than coming deer hunting. There's not even, you know, I'd say take the truck and go to town and go shopping or something, but there's nothing like that anywhere around. So Big Daddy says you should check out Cecil E. Skinner. That's a big username. I'll try to come back and find some of these people, because like I've watched some of Survival Lily. She has some videos. There's a whole bunch of YouTubers Primitive Technologies, both of those, there's 2 different channels, I believe. I think both of them I've watched and got some stuff, but it's really hit or miss with some of it. Need to build her a heated box stand. I had this awesome idea. Maybe it could be one of the build ideas for this channel. Kind of a more raw look at it, because I would like to record it for the Joe and Zach Survival channel too. But what I would like to do is I'd like to get one of those really small trailers from Harbor Freight. I think they're like almost 4 foot by 4 foot. They're like just under that. And I would like to make a box stand that sits on top of it. Because one thing that Sam and I are saving for right now is a 4-wheeler. And that would make this whole idea come to life, really. But I want one of those, the small trailers, they're like 4x4, 200 and some odd bucks at Harbor Freight. Probably could use a coupon on it. But I want to build that, and then on top of it put like a box stand, and have like the whole 9 yards. A nice square box stand with a roof. I don't know if I'd put windows in it, because I'd probably just make it open slots. But then I would like that idea, because I would make a little thing on the side so I can throw a 20-pound propane bottle, run the gas hose through the side of it, and have my buddy heater inside. Because like I said, I get cold, and then you can make it to however you want, and you can pull it pretty much wherever you want. Now there's of course limitations with that, because it's not like a pop-up blind where you can really get in the woods, but you could pull it into any clearing, or you guys seen all those different little ski trails and stuff up there. I mean, you could pull it down to any of those and park it. And so that's one idea that I thought of, and that's kind of been on my mind. I like to do little fun projects like that. So, and it'd be really, really simple to build something like that. You can insulate it real good so that you can just have your buddy heater on low, and you can just sit in there and you're up off the ground. And I think that'd be a good idea. But Sam and I are hopefully going to get a 4-wheeler here next spring or summer. And I'm not super brand specific. I really like Yamaha, but honestly, it's when you look at them, we look at them used, and they vary, right? You might get one that's really beat up. That's the problem, is these wheelers, you got to be careful, because people beat them up bad. They go mudding with them, and then the plastic gets all cracked and everything else. So one of my favorite 4-wheelers, you know, my family always had Yamaha growing up, and we had the Kodiak, which was a great wheeler. And that truck had a load of hay on it, double stacked load of hay. It is really windy to be hauling that. But anyways, we had a Yamaha Kodiak 400, and that thing, those things are built. But I also rode around in my uncle's Timberwolf 250. Well, both my uncles had Timberwolf 250s. One was a full-time 4-wheel drive, and one was just a 2-wheel drive. And I gotta say, I really like those ones too. So if a Timberwolf 250 comes up for sale when we're in the time of buying, I would really like to show Sam those ones, because they're nice. You can still have 2 people on them. They're nice, you know, they go pretty quick, right? But they're not fast. But they're easy to load up and relatively maintenance free. They're really good wheelers. So yeah. And you know, a lot of people, they'll get like a Grizzly 700. I don't even know how high they go, but I mean, I'm not really in it for speed. I like to mess around, but I don't want to get myself in trouble. So, yeah. One second here, I'll read some of your comments. Polaris 570. Polarises are okay, but they've never really done it for me. Another uncle that I have had a Polaris, and it's just like the shifter was always weird, and the way that they idle at the, like, they idle high, and it's really weird to me. Yamaha Banshee, those things are fast. Did your dad get rid of the Argo? No, my dad still has the Argo. It is sitting at his place, I think behind the barn somewhere. That sun is right in my eyes. Well, this is life. He still has it. It needs, I think it just needs chains tightened up on it, and then like a brake for the one side. Those things are pretty neat. Definitely kind of a luxury item, but kind of, they're really neat, but there's a lot of moving parts that require a lot of maintenance. So they're like, you know, they got 6 different drive shafts, and then they got the bearings, and then there's a chain that starts from the motor, and it goes back to the first one, and then to the second one, and then to the third one, and then to turn it, you know, you pull the 2 levers, and there's a brake in there, so when you pull one lever, the brake, you know, tightens or whatever. So there's, I think he's already replaced the brakes on it one other time, and now it's, you know, ready for more, because we used it quite a bit before, but we haven't used it in a really long time, and I'd like to get it back going again. So maybe one day. Has Phoenix ever been to the tent? No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't been up there. A lot of times when we go up north, we board the dogs, or we try not to board the dog as much as possible, because he really doesn't like it. But we sometimes, like, family will watch him or stuff like that. So, and it becomes a lot, because even when we're camping, he's a really little dog. He's only, last time I brought him in a couple weeks ago, he was 6-point-something pounds. And so when you get up in the morning and you're walking around and he's walking around, the morning dew gets all up in his fur, and then he's cold, so he's shivering, and then everywhere you go, make sure that he can go as well. And then, like, when we were camping, he gets crabby. I'll be honest, that dude gets crabby, because his life, as he knows it, is he gets up and he gets to lay on the couch all day. He's just like a cat. He goes out very little, and then he lays on the couch and sleeps most of the day. So when you bring him camping and he has to be, you know, on the grass all the time or whatever, come like 9 o'clock, he gets crabby, because he wants to go lay on a comfy, you know, he's been laying in the grass all day. He wants to lay down, if you will. So he it's funny, he starts growling at us, and then we know we got to put him in the tent because he wants to go to bed. he sleeps more than any dog. Like, he goes to bed with Sam at 9 o'clock, and then when I get home, I'm up for a couple hours, and I normally let him out and go potty, and then he sleeps on the couch when I'm up, so he's only up for like 20 minutes. And then when I go to bed, he comes in there with me, and he sleeps until 11 with me. So he sleeps from like 9 o'clock at night to like 11 in the morning. So he sleeps, what is that, 12, 13, 14 hours a day. And then on top of it, all day long, he sits there and he sleeps. Yeah, we made it to the interstate. Alright. Ooh, and the sun will be to our right. Hopefully. Alright. Get on the interstate here. I've almost burned through a quarter tank of gas already. Dang. On the road again. This is an awesome way to kill time. The speedboat, last I heard it was in Louisiana, but he might have sold it or something. Yeah, I know he had a bunch of maintenance stuff done to it and then brought it down there to go look at the property and stuff, but maybe it was too much of a boat for something like that. I have no idea. So yeah, I mean, if you guys have more questions, put them on there. The whole side of my truck has ice on it. Yeah, well, I mean, there's really not much, I guess, to say about it. It's just a boat. So, whatever it may be, I guess. Stan's doing well back there. It's not moving around too much. And like I said in the beginning of the video, I got 3 packs of water back here. And last night when I got off of work, they were moving around and they were squeaking like crazy. Luckily they're not doing it now. Is there room at the tent for me to build a cabin of my own? I'm sure that there is, but I wouldn't want to like intrude on my dad's spot, because he always says that the you know, the tent, I can use it, you know, just as much as he does or whatever if I wanted to. Obviously I would ask him if I could use it, but I don't get up there a ton to like justify building it right now. But Sam and I do often look at we look at land up there, and there's some really good deals, because you can get like 40 acres of land for like $20,000 to $30,000 up there. The price per acre is really cheap, like $500, which is super cheap for any acreage around here at least. And so we've really been talking about that these last few years. It's come up multiple times, and I think in the future, when the time is right, we will buy a hunk of land somewhere up there. I mean, land up there is kind of few and far between. Can you guys hear that wind? I bet you can really hear it. It is windy today. But we'll invest in a camper, or we really would like to build like get like one of those little sheds that you can turn into a house. And that would probably be off the grid, because 40 acres of land up there surrounded by probably forest, of course. There wouldn't be any land, any electricity there. So I'm sure we'd have to have like a generator or something to kind of keep the power on. But I would like it to be really, really simple. Yeah, everybody seems to love the tent videos. They're very popular. They're definitely our most popular. Before the tent series really was popular, we used to do the mud bugging, and that was like our most popular series. But in the last few years, that tent series has really gotten to be really popular. And one of our most common comments on the channel is people will say, I don't see a tent, that's a cabin. But to us, we've always called it the tent. We've always called it the tent because it's been so, because to us it was a tent, right? I was up there one of the first weekends we stayed up there, and it was just the tent in its rare form, you know. And we had what did we have? An 8-foot, one of those Lifetime brand 8-foot plastic tables that we unfolded or whatever, if I'm remembering this right. And the tent was a mess because we had just, like, we went up there and we put it up just in time for it to be dark out. And I remember asking my dad, I'm like, Dad, could a bear get in here if it wanted to? And he's like, oh yeah, a bear could claw right through that canvas. And you know, now we have the fan at night that keeps noise, but it was like, that was one quiet night. It was really cool. And I think then the next day we built the bunks, and I got to help build the bunk. But yeah, we built the bunks the next day in the kitchen area. So it was pretty cool. That wind is blowing so hard. It's pretty wild. You're fortunate enough to be a part of the family tradition. Michigan land is fairly expensive via second mortgage to start my own. Yeah. Around here, if it's like in the city or whatever, it, like where I live, I think an acre of land probably costs somewhere between $7,000 and $10,000. Well, no, it's definitely probably way more than that now that I'm thinking about it, because you can buy like a quarter-acre building site for $15,000. And to me, that's wild because that's cheap, you know, for a city type lot, but a quarter acre is not very much land at all in comparison to, you can almost buy 40 acres for that price up north. But there's really nothing up there, so that's kind of, you're paying for nothing, right? You have no access to any sort of sewer, water, whatever. Debbie asked, am I heading to the tent alone? Yeah, I'm riding by myself. My dad's already up there. I don't think Melissa is up there. I guess I didn't ask, but I don't think she's up there. It'd be really cool if she was, though. But my dad hasn't said anything about it, so I don't know if she's up there. Yeah, I don't know if Melissa will be up there deer hunting. I hope she is. But I'm not, I guess I really don't know her schedule. Oh yeah, someone asked what I thought about their house. I've been to their house a while. I was there a while ago, and Sam and I both went there, and it's a really nice house. I know that they're gonna remodel it, or not remodel it, but do a couple things to improve it, but that house is really, really nice, and it has a really nice layout where it opens up into the kitchen, and that like flows really nicely into the living room and the bedrooms and stuff like that. And it's like a perfect house, especially for them, because it's just the two of them, right? At this point in time, it's just the two of them, and like, you know, my dad has us kids, but we're all kind of on our own, if you will, and so it's just the two of them. And there's the nice garage, like the regular it's like a large 2-stall garage that Melissa can park in, and they can put like maybe whatever they're gonna have, the snow blower, maybe not a snow blower because they have a tractor, but they can put their lawn tractor in there or whatever. And then there's like the larger garage where my dad can park his diesel pickup truck and his other pickup truck, or have all sorts of his toys and stuff up there. It's really like the perfect property. And I know that the video, like watching a video of it is hard to get like the layout of how the house is, but that house is laid out really, really nice. And you know, you guys know how busybody my dad is. He likes to be doing something, keeping him busy, and that house is good for that, because not only now does it have a couple projects that he needs to work on, you know, just house related, but in the future he'll have all those outbuildings where he can go and do his woodwork or whatever he feels like doing that day, and he has all that land so they can have all their animals. And that house is a perfect fit. It's really nice and quiet there, and I honestly just can't say enough nice things about that house. Like, if Sam and I had the ability to move up there at this time in that area, oh yeah, we would have probably snatched that house up too, because it was a really good deal. So really good for them to get that place. And I know that kind of the rough plan that my dad has told me about that place, like with any business, you're gonna have peaks and valleys, you know, times when business is really busy and when it slows down. And from what he said, you know, right now is the last few years, we're coming out of that recession from 2008. I know it's 10 years later, but the recession was probably 7 years of it felt like. So we're coming out of the recession, and his business is busy. He seems to have lots of work. I don't know much about anything that he does, but he's always working. So his business is really busy, so he wants to work and travel back and forth between the places for a little while, at least until everything is kind of squared away. And then at that point, from what I know, he's going to slow down. You know, he said he's kind of over having a bigger operation, if you will. So he's kind of over that. He wants to downsize it and just make he wants to focus on YouTube, but then also focus on, you know, maybe just being like a one-person handyman type, where he can do odd and end jobs. Because you guys, the Louisiana house and stuff like that, and he's really handy with everything, you know, he can just figure it out. So I could totally see him being kind of a handyman type, where he out and in jobs. What else we got going on here? So that was that one. Your dad gets more done before 10 a.m. than most people do all day. That is the truth. He is, like I said, he's a very busy person. He likes to be busy. From what I know, he likes to be busy. Maybe he just always has so much to do that he has to get it done. And then someone asked, how many people does he employ? I have no idea. Like I said, he's always working, or, you know, doing stuff related to work, doing bids or whatever, but I don't work for him, so I have no idea how many people he employs or how many jobs he has going at once or anything like that. I don't have any idea. But I know he's busy, because he's always working, and he'll work Saturday and Sunday. So yeah, that's probably why I don't work for him, because I kind of like my weekends. I like my weekends and my off. And in construction, I guess, unless you're maybe working for a union construction crew or something like that, you got to make, what's the saying? You got to make hay when the sun shines or something like that. So your days off are more rain days than anything else. There's no like at my job now, we get like 2 weeks off for the 4th of July and a week off for Christmas, and or is it 2 weeks for Christmas? I don't know. It's changed, but I would never get 2 weeks off for the 4th of July if I worked for him, because it would be, unless it's going to be a monsoon or something that comes in, you know, they work 7 days a week sometimes. So those guys have lots of work. They get pushed pretty hard. I always just see the same guy. Yeah, you guys always see Corey. Corey's really good, and Corey is probably one of my dad's top hands, if you will. He's young, you know, but he's working with my dad for many years now, and we've known Corey. Corey is actually one of Sarah's friends, and we've known Corey for a really long time. Like, I think I've always known Corey, because they were like high school friends, and Sarah's probably been out of high school now for many years. So, I mean, we've probably known him for 15 years, maybe longer, maybe shorter, but and he's worked with my dad for many years now. So it's just Corey's kind of one of the top guys, so he gets to do all the fun stuff, right? He gets to go down to Louisiana and get that whole experience, and then he wow, it's windy, and then he doesn't mind being on the videos, and he's helped my grandpa up north with his place. So you guys always see Corey because he doesn't mind being in videos. Corey's really nice, so yeah, I can tell you that Corey does work with my dad. And from what my dad said, Corey's really good at what he does too. So I was hoping to see more wildlife on my way up north, but so far I haven't seen nothing. I've seen a few people that had four-wheelers on that look like they're going and doing tree stands also, but like there's a person in front of me here with a wheeler. So yeah, if you guys have watched that whole trailer series over the last 2 years where I rebuilt it 10 times, that was another reason why I'm like, I should get new tires, because next year we want to get a wheeler, and so when we get a four-wheeler we need a way to like transport it, and that trailer would be perfect for that because it's like perfect size. You could easily drive one-wheeler on there. It has those awesome 15-inch tires, so it's awesome on the highway. And yeah, so anyways, I might end this live stream and listen to a bit of music here for a while. Go back to listening to the Beatles. The sun is not out, it's behind the clouds back there, so I'm coming into another dark cloud area, so hopefully there's no more snow. But thanks guys for tuning in, and if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe if you want that. And hey, leave a comment down below or in any of the other videos of maybe something you want to see at the tent, and if I get a little bit of time this evening, maybe I'll make a video about it. So alright guys, thanks for keeping me company on my drive, and I'll talk to you later.